Unravel the mysteries of Apollo 11, eternal footprints on the moon and a legacy that defies time. Watch now for a surprising revelation. NASA Communication, Eagle, Houston here. Everything looks excellent. For over a day, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin made history on the moon. Now, the moment of their departure had arrived, the beginning of a journey back home. NASA Communication. Countdown: 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Prepare for liftoff. Emergency shutdown. Ignition occurring. Proceed. This video will delve into the traces left by these space pioneers at one of the most iconic sites untouched by humanity. As they departed the lunar surface, Buzz Aldrin looked out the window and witnessed how the force of liftoff scattered lunar dust, also knocking down one of the symbols of their achievement, the American flag. The flag required particular ingenuity to stay upright. In the lunar vacuum, a horizontal bar supported it, as there was no breeze to flutter it. The flag material, common nylon, came from a standard government catalog. In addition to the flag, they left behind artifacts with no scientific function but rich in meaning. Near the ladder of the lunar module, a plaque was affixed with the signatures of the Apollo 11 team and then President Richard Nixon, sealing that feat in history. On the lunar surface, the astronauts laid out various symbolic objects, some of which were tucked in Buzz Aldrin's spacesuit pocket and almost forgotten, only to be remembered by Armstrong when he was already on the ladder, returning to the lunar module. Aldrin then tossed them into the dusty lunar landscape. Among these objects was a patch from the Apollo 1 mission, in tribute to the astronauts who lost their lives in a tragic fire 2.5 years earlier during a launch test. In a gesture of international recognition, the astronauts left 2 commemorative medals in honor of Soviet cosmonauts Yuri Gagarin and Vladimir Komarov, who died in separate space accidents. Even amidst the intense Cold War, the intention was to demonstrate mutual respect for those who sacrificed their lives for space exploration. Another object of international significance was a small silicon disc containing goodwill messages from leaders of 73 nations, along with the names of legislative officials and NASA executives. In addition to these symbolic representations, scientific instruments were left behind, such as a seismometer capable of measuring ground vibrations for future experiments. A golden olive branch was also placed as a symbol of global peace amidst the vast silence of space. After landing on the moon, the scientific experiments conducted by the astronauts revealed unique challenges. A seismometer, powered by solar panels, collected data on seismic events and transmitted it back to Earth. Unfortunately, the device stopped working just 3 weeks after arrival, possibly due to overheating caused by direct exposure to noonday sun, where extreme temperature variations between day and night are more pronounced due to the absence of atmosphere to regulate heat. Another notable experiment was the Lunar Laser Ranging Retroreflector, a device that reflects light back in the exact direction from which the beam originated. This apparatus allows for precise measurement of the distance between Earth and the Moon, being the only experiment from the mission still in operation to this day. The astronauts also conducted rock sample collection experiments, soil drilling to measure resistance, and the installation of a special foil to measure solar wind outside Earth's magnetosphere. However, many of these experiments left only traces, as the equipment used needed to be brought back to Earth. There was a region near the lander filled with objects considered debris left behind. Among the items left on the moon are the collected rock samples, equipment discarded after serving its purpose, and even the black and white camera used to transmit the first steps on the moon, as well as the iconic moment of raising the American flag, which remained as silent testimonies of a historic achievement. The footprints left by the astronauts on the moon serve as both a tangible testimony of their journey and as a metaphor for the achievement that mission symbolizes. The paths traced on the dusty lunar surface reveal a journey that extends beyond the landing site, highlighting the exploration conducted. At the end of the extravehicular activity, Neil Armstrong made a brief and unplanned visit to the small west crater, further exploring the region. After the astronauts' departure, changes at the site are expected to occur slowly over time, not in weeks or months, but rather in decades, centuries, and even longer intervals. Over 53 years after the Apollo 11 mission, it is plausible to presume that exposure to solar radiation has caused noticeable visual changes at the site. Without a significant protective atmosphere, intense ultraviolet radiation and extreme temperature variations on the lunar surface likely affected the materials left behind. It is widely accepted that, over time, the colors of the US flag have faded, as have other materials that likely have deteriorated and become covered in dust. The nylon flag, like many other artifacts, is susceptible to deterioration. Despite adverse conditions, the Apollo 11 landing site remains a fascinating historic landmark that, unlike archaeological sites on Earth, is remarkably preserved, although its lunar nature makes it challenging to study in detail. The footprints, scientific instruments, and traces left by the astronauts tell not only a story of space exploration, but also represent a milestone in human history. Despite the inevitable changes that occur on the lunar surface over time, the legacy of Apollo 11 remains a testament to human courage, ingenuity, and determination. While the colors of the US flag may fade and materials disintegrate, what remains is the memory of a monumental achievement echoing through the decades. As we look to the past and future of space exploration, the journey of Apollo 11 reminds us of the power of collaboration, the boldness to dream big, and the importance of venturing beyond known limits. As the lunar landing site slowly transforms under the influence of space's relentless environment, its historic and inspiring significance remains intact, like a guiding light leading us towards the stars. Enjoyed traveling through the lunar legacy? Subscribe and leave your comment with your impression of the Apollo 11 journey. Let's explore more mysteries together.